Hey friends, welcome to the Wonder Who channel. My name is Naja. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. So glad to see everyone today. It is evening when I'm recording this video. I just came back home from being out of town. I have a routine right now where I'm out of town like 3 to 5 days a week to help out my parent, and it has reinvigorated a craft activity that I have not been able to make time for. I am inspired to make this video because I met someone a few days ago while I was running an errand, and an individual had to deliver something to my car. So her name was Brittany. And she observed that I had a big basket with yarn in a project in the back seat of my car. And she was like, do you knit or you crochet? And I said, oh, I crochet. And, you know, I admitted I'm only doing single crochet and all of that. You know, we chatted just for a few minutes while she was taking care of what she needed to take care of to help me. I shared with her that I had a channel. I told her, I said, you know, I've never talked about this on my channel, and I think I want to talk about it. So I'm going to talk to you about my novice crochet abilities. I'm specifically going to talk mostly about this temperature blanket that I've been working on. As a temperature blanket from 2024. Now it is 2025. I just wanted to show you it. I thought it would be something nice and cozy and just add another dimension. And maybe some of you guys have some crafts and gifts and things like that you can tell me about. Or if you crochet, you know, be kind. Keep in mind, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. I started this temperature blanket for 2024. I call myself very plain, and I don't know how to make color schemes and all of that. So this is probably to a designer or somebody that has the gift of using colors the right way. Color palettes, that's the word. They're probably like, my eyes. But I find great joy in this because I am making this with my hands. I will say I've been learning as I go. I had just a few crochet lessons in person from my local library in 2023, but I was not able to continue to go to those classes just because of the timing. They did give me a nice resource. And of course, we've got YouTube. We've got YouTube University, and there's so many talented yarn artists, crocheters on YouTube. I got this from the local library, and this is just crochet cheat sheet. And so it just talks about what each stitch is, how to do it. So again, I just want to say, you know, I am a novice yarn artist, novice crocheter. You may see imperfections and things like that in this, and that's fine. But be kind. If you have suggestions on how I can do better, then I would be open to that. But I'm really interested in just knowing if anybody else, you know, crochets in the community here. So for this temperature blanket, I want to say this is going to be the most expensive blanket I own. I know I've probably spent about $120 minimum right now on this yarn. And there's some things I didn't know. I'm probably going to have an excess of yarn. I don't anticipate myself making another temperature blanket, but I do anticipate myself making other things. So this yarn will eventually get used. So I'll pop up on the screen just intermittently as I'm talking about this temperature blanket, just the color palette that I found on Pinterest that I decided I really liked. But like I said, I'm not good with putting colors together. So some of the colors don't necessarily match what was on the color palette. A temperature blanket. So let me explain to you what I understand a temperature blanket is. So the goal is, I understand, for you to record the temperature for a certain time period. So it could be, you know, your birth year and what the temperature was every day of that year, and assign a color or a color to specific ranges of numbers that represent the temperature. So you know, I've seen people do their birth year. I've seen people make temperature blankets on the year that they're in, or a year that was significant in their life. Some people make a temperature blanket based on like what their mood was. You know, there's just myriads of that. So, you know, I encourage you to go and search on YouTube and just watch other creators. I started crocheting in 2023. So I had heard about this temperature blanket, and what drew it to me was it was going to be a way, the goal was it was going to be a way for me to crochet every day. So I would get that muscle memory in and have some sort of thing that I would have some discipline in doing every day. But that did not work out for me. Temperature blanket I started January 1st, 2024, and it's August 2025. So what does that tell you? I did not finish it in time. It is all single crochet, and it is 80 inches wide. And then it'll be however long it'll be in length after I finish crocheting each line representing a day and that temperature. And I was looking back at my notes. That's about 320, 340 foundation chains. So the goal is to have it nice and cozy and to use on my bed, and it doesn't match anything, and I like it like that because I want it to stand out for me. The darker colors right here, this is representing you know, the beginning of the year, and as you get to where I'm at right now, which is in August, as you can see, there's a lot of that pink color, and then a lot of this like purplish gray or lavender color. Let me show you, or let me tell you about what the colors are in the yarns that I used. And come to find out, some of these colors I'm never going to be able to use, or I'm not going to use because they just are not within the temperature range of, you know, where I'm at in zone 8A in Georgia. I was going to use antique white. So this is some Lion brand Pound of Love yarn. I was going to use that if there were temperatures that were 20 degrees and below. And sometimes that happens in Georgia, but I probably shouldn't have bought this much yarn. I probably should have bought a small skein. Anything from 21 degrees to 30 degrees. And by the way, I'm Fahrenheit. I had this Pound of Love yarn in pink salt. Anything that was 31 degrees to 40 degrees, I was using the loops and thread in coral. And then anything that was 41 to 50 degrees, I was using Lion brand Pound of Love yarn in terracotta. And then anything that was 51 degrees to 60 degrees, I was using pumpkin spice. Okay, I don't have the package for that. Let me see if I got the package for that one. All right, we'll just continue on. So it's this color, it's pumpkin spice. It is a Lion brand, so I'm pretty sure it was a Lion brand Pound of Love. Next color, it was from anything that's 61 to 70 degrees. I'm using loops and thread in the color clay. Next is temperatures between 71 to 80 degrees. I was using Lion brand Pound of Love in claret. Next, anything that was from 81 to 90 degrees was going to be loops and thread in lippy. Now this color is really not close to the color that is in that color palette, but it's okay. we got over it. I was using, what is it? Lion Brand Pound of Love again in the color Thistle. Lastly was anything that was 100 degrees and up. I was using a deep violet. Let me see if I have that. I think this was my deep violet. Okay. So I created a spreadsheet because data analyst here to keep track of the colors. I also use it so that I could keep track as I completed a line, and it would help me with the pivot that I created, help me know how far I've gotten on this project. I didn't think about this part, this spreadsheet tracking, until probably 6 or 7 months in. But last year, also to note, last year was a leap year, so there were 366 days last year. So my blanket will be 366 rows long. The majority of the temperatures in my area for my blanket were anywhere from 61 degrees to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know, like I said, I live in Georgia, zone 8A, so that makes sense. Yeah, so Lippy, I had 96 rows of Lippy, 81 rows of Claret, 71 rows of Clay, and then it went to 56 rows of Thistle. So right now I have 201 rows remaining. So I am 58.47% along the way of completing this blanket. So while I'm here, just so you can see some of the other projects that I've done on my crochet journey, was this was one that was just a quick burst of dopamine, gave me a dopamine hit. And this is out of some cotton, it's mercerized cotton. But I like to make little cotton dishcloths, and I've never made it out of mercerized cotton. So I don't know how this one will turn out. I did this recently while I was sitting a lot. And I used some of my Red Heart Super Saver Mexicana yarn. I love this yarn with all the colors. And so I was like, let me just do something neat on my AirPods Max. And so I just crocheted around it. I would have to cut this off to take it off. But I was inspired by just out of boredom, first of all. And then secondly, I remember I had some Pinterest pins and had some videos saved of people just crocheting along like their charging cables and stuff. And then that would be an identifier that, you know, to others that it was theirs. But I just did that because I didn't have anything to do. And then this is a gift that I never sent anybody. It was for a young lady, and I felt to send the gift. But she was a cheerleader, and this was her school, her cheerleader colors, uniform colors. So I made this and used some of that eyelash yarn. Not a favorite of mine. I don't really like that yarn, but these are scunchies, if I didn't say it. So just little scunchies. That was one of the first things I learned how to make from crocheting. And it's like, here's another one out of some other yarn. Here's another one. And what these simply are just me crocheting along a goodie hair tie, elastic hair tie. Yeah, and there's another one because I love that yarn. And then I think this is Super Saver Red Heart, and this is another like variegated or multicolor yarn. So, and then this is my little kit. I got this kit from Walmart. It was like a whole crochet kit with a bag and like several skeins of yarn. So I always bring this with me in my basket. So this crochet needle, a number 6, is my favorite. So I'm using a number 6 crochet needle to do my single crochet stitches on my blanket. I tend to like that one, number 6, and I like number 5, and I like number 4 size. I like these with the rubber handle on them, but I also like these too. I like them sometimes. I just like to switch it up. When I've made some bigger things, I've used the number 8. And you know, these are just generic crochet needles. I know that there's certain crochet needles that people love, but these are just generic crochet needles that came with a kit. I don't necessarily count stitches. I have not been counting stitches for this project. For a smaller project, I may end up counting stitches. I know that is a good thing to do, but I just have not gotten to that point yet. Like I said, I am very basic when it comes to this. I consider myself a novice, and I am good about following directions, but my brain just will not help me stay counted with this. I don't know how to read patterns. That's something that I guess I need to learn how to do when I get done with this project. Oh, magic circle. I cannot get a magic circle to save my life right now. I would love to get that hit in that accomplishment in my brain of making an amigurumi, but I'm not there yet. But I can make some things. Oh, and just going back, I've made this for my son. It's like a little neck cuff. Let me try it on. I made one for him, and I made one for my husband. And because when my son goes to classes, and he has to walk around a pretty big campus, he wanted something to cover his neck. And so I made this in like 2, maybe 3 days tops. And it is not perfect, but he likes it and he was happy with it. And he said that it kept his neck shielded from the cold. And then I also made my husband one of these before. And then I made this for myself and I counted stitches for it. So it's out of that Red Heart Super Saver Mexicana yarn. And so this is just a little scarf. Working from home, I just really I don't really go out a lot, so I haven't necessarily worn this, and I wanted to get some more yarn. So it seems like it's hard to find this yarn, but I need some more because I wanted to make some sort of fringe or tasseling here. But I'm definitely going to wear this once the weather turns cold. I have a big puffy black coat, and I think this would look nice amongst it. But the colors just remind me of like Rainbow Bright or Care Bears. And so, that's my era. That was the stuff that I watched when I was a kid. So now that I've shown you this, I will have to be accountable, happily accountable, when I get this done. I may need to make it as a community post or make another video to show you what I got done. A cozy activity for me, a homebody activity. I love it. I'm very proud of how far I've gotten, and I have moved past the point where it's like, oh, I should have got this done. So I have to tell you a recent situation, funny story. I was telling my brother what this was and what I was doing, telling him how far I had gotten. And he said, so basically you're like 13 months behind. But I took it as, dang, you're 13 months behind on this? You ain't done yet? He didn't say it like that though. But that's what I heard, because he was just, the way that he was just doing the math in his head. So I just think that's really funny, because I heard it a certain way and he didn't mean it that way. But I was like, oh my gosh, like you put a number on it and now I've got to get this done. So hopefully I will get this done before the end of 2025. And if I don't, then that's more crochet for me in 2026. It's all good. And I just know making a temperature blanket of this magnitude is not going to be something that I do. But this will be something that I will probably keep for the rest of my life. It's a piece of art that I can use and look at. That's what matters to me. I hope that gave you, just a little bit more insight about something else that I like to do. I like to try a lot of things, and this is one that is sticking with me so far. I'm just doing it as a way to practice something that is meditative for me, and I can see something being created as I'm doing it. It is a beautiful way to express love to someone by giving them something that you created, or sharing your creativity in making your home nice and cozy. Definitely, to me, certainly a homebody type activity. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy crocheting!
Thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you being here. Please remember, if you have any questions or comments, to leave them below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also remember to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a video. I hope today is the goodest of your good days, and may everything fall into place for you. Thank you, friends, and I'll see you again next time.